Life has a way of making you feel like you're behind. Everywhere you look, someone is posting about their early wins. Someone is younger, faster, richer, shinier. You start to wonder if you missed the train, if the doors closed before you even got to the station. But let me tell you the truth right now. The world has lied to you about time. It has lied to you about success. It has lied to you about when you are supposed to bloom. And I want you to lean in close, because if you carry this truth with you, it will change the way you see yourself forever. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly on time. And by the end of this, you'll understand why the late bloomers, the ones who are overlooked, doubted, and ignored, are often the ones who win in the end. Think about how society worships youth. Young CEOs, teenage millionaires, 20-something prodigies. The media loves to shove them in your face as if speed equals greatness. But let's be real. Speed without depth crumbles. Speed without wisdom collapses. How many child stars burned out before 30? How many early successes vanished just as fast as they arrived? The truth is, fast starts are not the same as strong finishes. A fire that burns too quickly runs out of fuel, but the fire that smolders, the one that takes its time building heat, becomes unstoppable when it finally roars. That's the story of the late bloomer. Psychologists talk about something called developmental timing. Not everyone's brain, personality, or calling matures on the same clock. Some people peak early, but many of the most impactful humans peak later because their experiences, failures, and struggles are what season them. Napoleon Hill, the author of Think and Grow Rich, spoke about the cosmic habit force. He believed that life has rhythms, invisible laws that guide timing, growth, and destiny. And what he discovered was this: if you persist long enough, if you stay in the game when others quit, life bends in your favor. Your habits align with opportunity. Your delayed rise becomes inevitable. Look at some of history's giants. Morgan Freeman didn't land his breakthrough role until he was 50. Julia Child didn't publish her first cookbook until she was almost 40. Raymond Chandler didn't write his first detective novel until he was in his 50s. Vincent van Gogh, now one of the most celebrated painters in the world, only sold one painting during his lifetime. People mocked him, dismissed him, called him irrelevant. Today, his art is priceless. What does this tell you? It tells you that the scoreboard at 20 doesn't decide the game at 60. The scoreboard at 30 doesn't determine the championship at 80. And let's go deeper. Psychology proves why late bloomers often outlast early risers. Early success can create fragile egos. When everything comes easy, you don't develop resilience. But when you've been overlooked, when you've been doubted, when you've had to eat rejection for years, you build something stronger than talent. You build grit. Angela Duckworth, a psychologist at the University of Pennsylvania, calls grit the combination of passion and perseverance for long-term goals. And guess who develops the most grit? The late bloomer. The one who had to fight longer, push harder, wait patiently, and keep showing up while no one was watching. That's why when late bloomers finally break through, they don't collapse under the pressure. They don't crack under the spotlight. They've been forged in silence. They've been tempered by failure. They've been trained by time. And that gives them staying power that early bloomers rarely match. Let's bring in another voice. Carl Jung, one of the founding fathers of psychology, believed that individuation, the process of becoming your true self, doesn't even begin until midlife. He argued that the first half of life is about building a persona, fitting in, chasing approval, playing society's game. But the second half of life is when people start shedding illusions, connecting to purpose, and blooming into who they were always meant to be. Jung would tell you, of course late bloomers rise later, because the soil of the self isn't fertile until you've lived, struggled, and questioned long enough. And you know what else? Neuroscience backs this up. Your brain doesn't fully mature until your mid-20s, sometimes later. The prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for decision-making, long-term planning, and self-control, takes time to wire itself completely. So imagine the pressure society puts on you to have it all figured out by 25, when your brain isn't even finished building itself. That's not wisdom. That's madness. Late bloomers aren't behind. They're aligned with how nature actually works. But let's get real for a moment. Being a late bloomer isn't glamorous in the beginning. It's painful. People laugh. People whisper. People say, "When are you going to get it together?" They measure your timeline against theirs and declare you lost. You know the sting of being doubted, of watching classmates or colleagues speed ahead while you're still searching. You know the sting of scrolling through success stories that make you question your worth. But here's what they don't understand. Silence is a training ground. Being underestimated is a gift. Because when people overlook you, they're not watching your preparation. They won't see you coming when you rise. Napoleon Hill once said, "Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit." Late bloomers are proof of this. The adversity of delay plants seeds of wisdom. The failure of rejection plants seeds of resilience. The heartache of being overlooked plants seeds of hunger. And when those seeds bloom, they don't produce fragile flowers. They produce towering oaks. Think about it. If you had succeeded the first time you tried, would you have learned patience? If doors opened too easily, would you have learned persistence? If applause came too early, would you have learned humility? The waiting, the struggling, the failing, it's not wasted time. It's preparation. It's character building. It's life sharpening you into someone who can carry the weight of real success when it finally arrives. Consider someone like J.K. Rowling. Before Harry Potter became a phenomenon, she was a struggling single mother, rejected by multiple publishers. If she had given up after the 5th rejection, the world would never have known Hogwarts. If she had succeeded too early without the life experience of struggle, maybe her words wouldn't have carried the same depth. Her late blooming gave her stories power. Or take Henry Ford. He didn't create the Model T until he was 45. Before that, he faced multiple business failures. People laughed at his attempts. But when he finally cracked the code of mass production, he didn't just build a car, he reshaped society. And the years of failure weren't wasted. They were research. They were the very reason he could succeed at such a massive scale later. Late bloomers carry a depth that early bloomers can't fake. They've lived through storms. They've tasted disappointment. They've faced themselves in the dark. And because of that, their victories have roots. Their wins aren't surface level. They're anchored deep, impossible to uproot. Now let's circle back to Napoleon Hill. One of his most powerful ideas is persistence, the ability to keep going when everyone else quits. He studied hundreds of millionaires in the early 1900s and found that the one common factor was not intelligence, not education, not even timing, but persistence. And here's the kicker. Most of those people achieved their breakthroughs after years, sometimes decades, of being ignored. Hill called it the turning point, that mysterious moment when persistence finally meets opportunity. And late bloomers, they live in persistence. They embody persistence. So when their turning point comes, it's explosive. Think of it like bamboo. For years, bamboo shows no visible growth. You water it, you tend it, but nothing breaks the surface. People laugh. They say you're wasting time. But beneath the soil, roots are spreading wide, strong, unshakable. And then one day, In just a few weeks, bamboo shoots up feet into the air, not because it grew overnight, but because it had been preparing underground the whole time. That's the late bloomer story. Hidden preparation, sudden explosion. And here's the real twist. Late bloomers often enjoy success more fully because they understand the value of it. They've known hunger, so they savor the feast. They've known silence, so they cherish the applause. They've known rejection, so they respect acceptance. Early bloomers often don't get that. They take success for granted. They chase more, faster, newer. But late bloomers, they've waited long enough to taste the sweetness of arrival. So where does this leave you? If you're listening to this, if you feel like time has passed you by, if you feel like you're running behind everyone else, breathe. You're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. Your roots are growing underground. Your resilience is being forged. Your grit is being sharpened. And when the moment comes for you to rise, you won't just rise fast. You'll rise strong. You'll rise unshakable. You'll rise with depth that cannot be ignored. Because in the end, it's not about who starts the race the fastest. It's about who finishes strong. It's not about who blooms first. It's about who blooms with the most power, the most beauty, the most permanence. And again, history shows us the late bloomers win in the end. So let the world rush. Let others chase timelines that aren't meant for you. Let people laugh if they want to, because you know something they don't. You know that your timing is not their timing. You know that your story is not their story. And you know that when it's your time to bloom, no force on earth will be able to stop you. And that's why you don't quit. That's why you keep going. That's why you trust the process, because your moment is coming. And when it does, it won't just be a win. It will be the kind of win that makes the world stop, turn around, and realize the late bloomer has arrived.